Are you struggling to get bookkeeping clients? Are you at that point in your business where you're past just getting started? It's not really exciting anymore, and you're starting to realize, yikes, this is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it might be. Maybe you're 3 months into your bookkeeping business journey and you already become a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. You've got social media set up. You started to send some friend requests and do some cold calls and send some emails. You got your website set up, but you're struggling to get your first client. Or maybe you're 6 months in, you've got 2 or 3 clients. Okay, this might work, but now you're struggling to get to that next level. How do you get to 5 or 10 clients? So I'm going to give you some actionable tips, some real tactical advice that'll help you get past the 3 to 6 month slump of you're not really just getting started with your bookkeeping business, but you're trying to get to that next level. My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I started my bookkeeping business 6 years ago. I grew to 80 monthly clients, and I had $40,000 of monthly recurring revenue. Okay, so here's my number one advice. Actually, no, this is not the best one. I'm gonna save the best one for last. So here's my second best piece of advice. If you're in that slump, what do they call it? The sophomore slump. You're 3 months in, you're 6 months in, and you feel like it's just not working. Here's my second best piece of advice. Focus on the inputs. Don't focus on the outputs. What does that mean? Outputs are revenue made, new clients gained, views on your social media. Inputs are social media content created, new outreach, keeping up with your daily, weekly, monthly goals. So here's a really tactical example. So let's say, for example, you're trying to get 2 new clients in the next 30 days. So that would be the output, getting 2 new clients in the next 30 days. So what do you need to do to get those 2 new clients? Focus on the inputs. Here was my social media marketing strategy for the first 6 months. I was creating content every single day. So the input is create content every day. The output is eventually getting to 2 new clients. And then also find prospective clients, whether it's on social media, in-person networking events, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. You have to find perspective. It could even be Google Maps. You could just do a raw search on Google Maps and search for local businesses. You got to find prospective clients and then you connect with them. Facebook makes it super simple. LinkedIn makes it super simple. Send a friend request, send a connection request, and then try to engage with your new followers, engage with your new connections every single day. So from a measurable goal, I like to create 1 piece of content every day. If you're feeling ambitious, maybe make it 2, 5 days a week. You don't have to work on the weekends. 5 days a week, 5 to 10 pieces of content per week. Send, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 maybe friend requests every single day, but space it out. Don't do it all at once. And then number 4, engage with your new community. Engage with your new connections. Reply to comments. If anybody comments on your stuff, reply to their comments. Or if they make a post, comment on their post. Engagement goes a long way. So focus on the inputs. Don't worry about the outputs. The outputs will come as you stay consistent with the inputs. The inputs, you can control the inputs. You can't control the outputs. So you're going to stress yourself out if you're trying to focus on things that are out of your control. But instead, focus on what you can control, the inputs. Okay, this next point is so good. I had to write down some notes because I wanted to make sure I got everything. Let's talk about overcoming imposter syndrome. It all starts with celebrating the small wins, and you can document your achievements. Things like becoming a QuickBooks Online Certified Pro Advisor, getting your first Google review, getting your website up and running, getting business cards, your first networking meetup, maybe even you book your first sales consultation. These things should be celebrated. And this is real progress. So if you're feeling like an imposter, but you're actually getting these small wins along the way, you should be proud of yourself. But it takes intentional acknowledgement to realize that, hey, I'm actually doing this. Share your thoughts and feelings with peers and mentors. I'm not saying you have to go to therapy, but if you can find somebody who you can be open and honest with, you're going to feel a lot less isolated because, let's be honest, as an entrepreneur, we're all alone. We don't have coworkers, we don't go to a job, we don't have a manager, we don't have peers, but you can find mentors and peers typically on the internet, other local entrepreneurs, other bookkeepers. You're gonna feel a lot less isolated. And if you're struggling with something, it just helps to be able to talk about it. This is really key. Replace comparison with curiosity. So instead of looking at somebody else, some other bookkeeper, some other local entrepreneur, and thinking, wow, they're doing so well, I'm struggling to get over imposter syndrome, I'm struggling to get my first client. Instead of comparing yourself to them, why not view it from a curiosity perspective? What can I learn from them? What are they doing that I'm not doing? What are they doing differently that maybe I could start incorporating into my content, into my strategy? Two more things. This is all about overcoming imposter syndrome. I'm telling you, this is why I had to write down these notes, because I got so jacked up just thinking about this, because I know a lot of bookkeepers and entrepreneurs really struggle with this. Prioritize progress over perfection. We've all heard this: analysis by paralysis. There is never a perfect time. There's only today, and you need to take action. So if you're just making progress, that's amazing. You should celebrate that. If you're constantly waiting to be perfect and to be 100% ready, you're never going to get started. So focus on just making a little bit of progress every day. What's that old quote? If you can get 1% better every day, are you kidding me? You're going to be amazing in 30, 60, 90 days. So just focus on getting a little bit better every day. And then finally, embrace a growth mindset. Challenges are learning opportunities. It's not a label of deficiency. You want to focus on trying to get better. Don't focus on your inability or your lack thereof. Just focus on challenges and view them as learning opportunities. And everyone has their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Focus on yours. And of course, focus on continuous improvement. So if there is a challenge, if there is a deficiency, how can you get better? How can you improve? That's just tip number 2. We got 3 more. So I was actually curious. I wanted to know, why do most entrepreneurs fail at the 6-month mark? And one of the biggest reasons was because you don't understand that this is going to be hard. And this is not just you specifically. This is you generally. Everybody. People underestimate how hard it is to start a business and to grow a successful business. And a big reason is social media. People see the success stories on social media, but nobody talks about the failures. A lot of entrepreneurs, it's their 3rd, 4th, 5th try at starting a business. So very few entrepreneurs succeed on their first business. Most business owners fail at the 6-month mark, and it's because they think it's going to be a lot easier than it really is. But if this were easy, everybody would be doing it. Just like anything, there's very few successful people. If you want to get to that top 1%, you're going to have to do what most people don't do. But here's the good news. This is seriously 100 times better than being a W-2 staff accountant or being an employee at an accounting firm. This is, I promise you, starting a business, growing a business is 100 times better than being an employee. But here's the big caveat. It's only better if you succeed. It's only better if you succeed. So most people fail. I'll just be honest with you. Most people fail because this is incredibly hard. So you need to manage your expectations. So if you're just getting started, or if you're at that 3-month mark, that 6-month mark, you need to tell yourself, this is very hard. This is not easy. This is very hard. This should be your daily mantra. What I'm doing right now is incredibly hard. You need to manage your expectations. If you think it's going to be easy and then you show up, and then it's exciting in the beginning. It is kind of easy to get started because it's new, it's exciting, it's fun. It's easy to get started with anything, but it's hard to keep going. It's so hard to finish and to persevere through the challenges. So it should be your daily mantra. Look yourself in the mirror. What I'm doing is hard. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing because the market would be oversaturated with successful bookkeepers, but it's not because it's really, really hard. You need to start with that mindset and just understand that this is going to be very hard. Manage your own expectations. Let me tell you a quick story. I thought I wanted to buy a rental property in 2023. I actually had $50,000 saved up for my bookkeeping business, and I started looking at properties. And then I realized it was really hard to find a good deal. I was analyzing properties every single day, and I knew that I wanted to buy a property, but I knew that I wanted to buy the right property. I spent 4 months waiting for the right opportunity, searching for the right opportunity, and I just quickly realized, you know what? This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. And of course, if it was easy, everybody would have 100 rentals and nobody would be working, and it would be so super simple. I actually kept my old house. 6 months later, we moved and I kept my old house. January 2024, we moved. I kept my old house. It was a great starter home, 1,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, really great starter home, but we outgrew it because we have 5 kids. So I kept it because I had a really great interest rate. 3% interest rate, purchased it in 2019. It appreciated crazy amounts. It was worth $300,000 in 2024. I rented it out for $2,000 per month. My mortgage was only $1,300 per month. It was cash flowing like crazy. This was a no-brainer. This seemed really easy. It was new, it was exciting, it was fun, it was cash flowing, it was easy. But then my tenant started calling me. My tenant had issues. There was a tree branch that fell down in the backyard. There were ants in the kitchen. Everything started going wrong. Things needed to be fixed. My tenant was calling me. My tenant was late on rent a couple months, and I had to get rid of it. I got rid of it because I realized it was hard. It's not easy. Nothing is easy. Nothing worth doing is easy. Even if an amazing rental property falls in your lap and you've got a great interest rate and it's cash flowing like crazy, even something that simple can be very hard. So if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You got to manage your expectations. With me and the rental property, I went into it thinking it was going to be easy. It ended up being a lot more work than I thought it would be. And hey, look at me, I gave up. But side note, I went all in on real estate lending. So I'm still in the real estate game a little bit, but I gave up on being a landlord. I gave up on managing tenants and repairs and maintenance and vacancies and evictions. That wasn't for me. But for you, as long as you manage your expectations, understand this is going to be very hard, you can get through this 6-month slump as a bookkeeper. All right, that's tip number 3. Let's talk about tip number 4. All right, we got 2 more tips here. Tip number 4, pick a niche and keep your offer simple. You should be able to clearly explain what you do. More importantly, how you help business owners. Bookkeeping services is all about reducing stress, freeing up time, and giving business owners peace of mind. So there are 3 things that you're going to do as a bookkeeper. Just keep it really, really simple. I feel like people try to overcomplicate things to make it seem like they're doing more than they really are. But seriously, I promise you, just keep things simple. This will help you get clients in the beginning, and it'll also help you scale larger. So 3 things as a bookkeeper. You do 3 things. That's it. You categorize transactions, you reconcile accounts, and you generate financial reports. You can just keep it that simple. I typically tell people everything you're doing in QuickBooks Online right now, I can do it for you. It's as simple as that. And people have actually said to me, that is exactly what I need. And I'm like, yes, I know. I do this all the time. People actually just need a bookkeeper. They don't need some overcomplicated service. They just simply need a bookkeeper so that they can create financial reports so that they can file their taxes. It's really that simple. I know it kind of seems counterintuitive. You might be thinking, I want to make more money. I want to get more clients, so I have to offer more services. But that's actually not the case. I have actually got many clients because they come to me and they say, yes, finally, I just need a bookkeeper who specializes in XYZ. Maybe it's real estate, maybe it's trucking, maybe it's restaurants. Some industries actually do need very specific bookkeepers who actually do have a niche and who do understand the specific needs of that industry. For me, as a real estate investor, I know exactly how to do real estate investor bookkeeping. So this is going to help you get clients in the beginning, and it's also going to help you scale bigger, faster, and better because you're more efficient at doing the actual bookkeeping. So tip number 4, pick a niche and have a simple offer that you can clearly communicate to your potential clients. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's get to tip number 5. All right, let's wrap this video up. Here is tip number 5 for how to get bookkeeping clients and how to avoid the 6-month slump. So, starting a bookkeeping business, sales and marketing is by far the hardest part, but customer service, delivering high quality customer service, actually doing a good job, that's the most important part. You just spent so much time sales, marketing, advertising, promoting, trying to get your clients. Now that you actually have 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 clients, now you got to do a good job, because here's what's going to happen. If you don't do a good job, there's a thing called churn. How quickly do you lose your clients? If you lose your clients, then all that hard work to actually get your bookkeeping clients is wasted. So, word of mouth referrals, it spreads like wildfire. You can exponentially grow your bookkeeping business without even really putting in a lot of effort if you do a good job. Because if you do a good job, then your current clients are more likely to leave you a review, they're more likely to tag you on social media, and they're more likely to refer you to their friends and family. So this is a great way that you could exponentially, without doing any work, you can exponentially grow your clients. It all comes down to delivering high quality customer service. You don't want to lose your clients, and they'll refer you to other people. With that in mind, try to get Google reviews and also social media, Facebook groups. Whenever I was at the peak of growing my bookkeeping business, I literally had people who I didn't even know. They were referring me, they were tagging me in other people's posts whenever they were asking for bookkeeper recommendations. So that's my 5 tips. I really hope this was helpful. If you like this style of video, subscribe and comment down below and like the video. You know it helps with the algorithm, but also I'm posting new videos every single day. Honestly, I just love talking about this stuff. So if you like watching, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.